Hi, my name is Juliana, and I'm a fitness instructor and yoga instructor at the Zakim Center for Integrated Therapies and Healthy Living at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Today we're going to be doing some ankle mobility and stretches and straightening for the ankle joint. So now we're going to start to move into some exercise that requires a little bit more weight bearing. The first one, I'm going to actually do it on the chair. It's just a partial weight bearing. You're not going to put too much weight, so this will be the first progression of going a little further. So we're going to start to do some heel rising here, raises here, by engaging those calf muscles and the ankles. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to switch the chair sideways so you can perhaps see better. And your toes are going to stay on the floor. And you want to keep your spine nice and tall. And when you're ready, we're going to pick up those heels off the floor. And you can feel how your calf muscles start to engage, your ankles, and then you lower. And then you pick it up. And then you lower. So I'm doing 2 here at once. But if you feel that you want to just do 1 at a time, you can do that as well. So you pick. You hold it for a few seconds. This one, we don't have to hold it for like those 20 seconds that we were holding before, maybe 10. And then you lower. And you lift. And you lower. And it looks pretty simple, but you can start to feel your calf muscles pretty fast. And after you did 10, you're going to take that break. And then eventually you're going to repeat it again. So when you take a break, think about maybe a minute break in between before you do it again. Otherwise, you can alternate to the other leg, and the breaks can be slightly shorter, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute before you take the other side. Don't forget to get water whenever you need it, hydration, all right? So we're going to start to move to a little bit more weight-bearing exercises, coming slightly off the chair. So the same way as we did calf raises seated on the chair, we can also do it standing. Now, this is definitely going to have more weight bearing than the other one. And again, you want to support yourself on the chair. One thing you should not do is put all that pressure and weight into the chair. So think about staying very light and lifted and engage in your posture here. And perhaps you start to lift and then lower. You lift and lower. And again, we're going to do 10 of these and lower. And again, I'm trying just to stay light with the fingers on the chair. But if you need more support, you can hold on to it. Just the only thing that you shouldn't be doing is really putting all that weight onto the chair and dropping it. Think about you're getting very light and you're lifting and you're rising up. And with time, you can even start a little bit more different combinations of this, as you can go up for 2 and then down, down, up, 2, down, 2. And that will just slightly different. You're going to feel it differently. It's going to maybe be a little bit more challenging if you get bored with just going up and down. Now will be a progression to do it. So after you do 10, if you're doing just 1 or if you're doing both, you can always do that as well. So if you're just doing 1 leg, you want to make it more intense. Actually, 1 leg in this case is harder than the 2. You can just bring 1 leg behind the other, and you can go up and down. Right? Definitely more weight bearing. And this one, I would say, a little bit more advanced. So again, try with the 2 before you start to increment and bring it a little bit more. All right? As we're talking about now weight-bearing exercise to straighten your ankle, you can always have a chair or a wall close by to help you with that balance. Again, just be careful. If you feel like you're going to trip, always have something there that can support you. So we're going to do a little bit more of weight bearing. And it might feel very simple, but basically what we're doing, we're shifting the weight from one side to the other. It becomes a weight bearing exercise, and this weight bearing exercise also helps build bone mass and muscle mass, and also helps with your core and balance. So we're gonna just shift the weight slightly to one foot, and my other foot is barely coming off the floor. And you can just feel, right, when you're doing this shift from one side to the other, where the weight is, and you don't even have to pick up the feet too much. So just progressing into that way that you start to shift the weight from one side to the other. Eventually it's going to get to a point that you can feel that maybe you can pick up that foot a little bit higher up, and it hovers slightly off the floor for a couple of seconds before you transfer the weight to the other side, and the foot hovers for a couple of seconds. And eventually what we're going to try to do is shift the weight to one side again. This is a really core building exercise, and you pick up the foot and maybe you hold. If you need the chair, it's right there for you. And you can even have your fingers on it. The weight is still on that leg. That is just additional support. And then you shift it again, making it slow, picking up the leg. If you don't need the chair, you don't need the chair, but it's always there for you. And you can have even your fingers on it. The foot is barely coming off the floor, but you can definitely feel how much more engaged one leg is compared to the other, how your core has to be engaged, your posture and everything else. You start to build into your core muscles as well. All right, so that is a nice way to start to progress. We're gonna add a little bit more to this. So we're gonna put an obstacle in between your legs, so you have to step over. So it becomes a little bit more engaging and a little bit more dynamic. So just again, make sure that if you need to be closer to a wall or to a chair for support, you can always use it. So I'm gonna use that TheraBand, or you can use a towel or something just to roll around and put it in between your feet. So you can feel that you have something there and you're actually seeing it or feeling it, that you know that you have to step over. So try not to have something too high. It could also be a small block, but not a very high one. You can stack it up just for, making sure there's something there. Now, with this, we're gonna step to the side. So it's a lateral move. You're gonna step one foot, so you're transferring the weight, and then to the other side. All right? So again, keeping that spine, you soften your knees, you take a step, and then to the other side. All right, if you need to look where you're stepping, right, you can take it up and over. So I put the bands because they're pretty, not very high, so you can actually feel that you're not gonna have to take that step very high to take it from one side to the other. All right, we're gonna continue with this weight-bearing exercises for strengthening the ankle and stability of the ankle, and also this one also helps with the stability of the knee as well. So we're going to use blocks. So what I did, I just basically put 2 blocks together, and that will make sure that if your foot is longer than the block, it will be fully supported by the block. All right. You can also use something else that is firm enough, a big book or something that you can step on. If you choose something that's very soft, it's going to be trickier. So try something that's firmer, that will give you better support. So you're going to step onto it. And again, our idea is to repeat this. You do 10 times and then you repeat it 3 times after 3 sets. All right, so soften your knees here a little bit and just stand with your legs. So you want to imagine there's a block under the other foot. Now, again, when you're doing this, there's a tendency of letting the hips sway to the side. So you want to think about you're rooting down to rise up. So you feel that the core starts to engage, even there's a softness with that knee, right? You're still lifting up nice and tall. The chair is there for your support. If you don't need it later on, you might even play by taking your hands away from it, right? It's just a little kind of like a balance kind of exercise, a mind thing. So you're just going to engage your core and just think about standing up nice and strong. You hold it for a few seconds and then we can pause. If you need a break, you step down, you relax, you maybe roll the ankle, and then you step onto it again. All right? So try to do that 10 times, and then you take a break, do the other leg, and then eventually you repeat it 3 times after that. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next level, which is a little bit more dynamic in a way. So you're gonna start to bend a little bit of that standing leg on the block, right? And it's a tapping of the foot down and up. So you're gonna try to control the wobble. The knee is gonna try to move, it's normal. So again, this is also for a knee straightening, not only the ankle. So you're gonna try to control as you tap up and down. If you don't need the chair, you don't have to use a chair, but the chair is there to help you. Okay. Now, eventually, with time, if you wanna take this a little bit more dynamic, which is what we normally do, you're gonna take it in different planes, just like we did before. So it's gonna shift the balance, it's gonna challenge you here. So you're gonna tap the foot front, you bend the knee slightly, you tap the foot to the side, and then you're gonna bend the knee and slightly step the foot back. So it's just a little toe tap, doesn't have to be much. And definitely you can start to feel how the ankle starts to really increase the stability, the knee as well. Excellent. And then you come yourself, bring it down and down. Take a break, repeat it on the other side. So I'm gonna do the next exercise on the other leg because this side is already starting to get a little tired. So we were talking about dynamic movement with weight bearing. So this is definitely a little bit more advanced level. Again, try the other videos if you're starting, because this is definitely gonna probably the one that's gonna take you a little bit more into it. So when we step on the block, or could be a book or something that gives you a little bit more height, so the other foot is not there. And again, try not to let that hip sway. You're trying to engage your core. You're trying to imagine there's something under that foot, so you're almost at the same level, right? Chair is there to support you. It can be your counter, your table. Just make sure that you have some support. All right, so we're talking about bending that knee and tapping the foot up and down, right? So that, again, you're trying to control that wobble of the knee because it's gonna move a little bit, but you're trying not to. So if you have any knee injury, again, this is a good one for rehabilitation, but again, if you're having some pain right now with the knee, do not do this, right? So always check with your doctor. So I'm gonna start to take it that front, the side, and the back. All right, so now this becomes a little bit more dynamic. So you're gonna start to slide. You almost think about your body going back, and then when you go to the side, you go to the side. It gets a little tricky, right? And now when you go back, your body comes forward. So definitely a little harder to do. You do not have to do this on the block. You can get the same effect right here on your mat. So again, by lengthening, this is again the hardest, probably hardest one on that level of straightening. You're gonna soften into your knee, and it's almost like you hinge slightly back. And then you take it to the side. Your body goes one way, your leg goes the other. All right. And then you slowly hinge forward and bring it back. Excellent. Then when you come here, we're gonna take it out to the side, the leg, and then it crosses. And then you come back to the center and release, right? So it's definitely a lot on that knee and ankle joint. Again, this is a little bit more advanced. If you really want to really straighten that ankle, for any reason that you need to. Again, just be careful when you're moving in this level because we really want to make sure, because of that ankle joint, such a major joint for movement and stability, we really want to keep it strong and healthy. Again, try not to force yourself into something that you're not ready for, right? We have plenty of other videos to get you to that step. So we have still one more, which we're going to use the block to also, and some support to stretch. So we're gonna use the block, a chair support could be a counter, a table, to stretch the muscles of your calf and of your ankle. So again, mobility, we always want to not only to straighten but also to stretch. So you're gonna step on the block. Your heels are gonna be off the block. So what I want you to pay attention to this one, you're gonna have your hands on your chair. So both knees are a little bit soft. And now you're gonna, let's stretch the one closer to the camera there, which would be your right leg. And you're gonna bend your knee a little bit and just really press the heel back. So you start to straighten that leg a little bit more. So the heel is dropping, the leg is a little bit more straight. Now what happens is that when you bend the knee and push the heel back, it's a different stretch, all right? So that you're getting the soleus, which is a little bit further down, and the other one was the gastro, which is a little bit upper. Again, complicated names you don't need to know, but you're just stretching different muscles, all right? So let's repeat that again. I'm just gonna turn it around so you can see. So both knees are slightly soft, the heels are slightly dropping, but the leg is gonna start to push down a little bit more. So my standing leg, there's a little softness in the knee, do not lock that knee. And the leg that I'm stretching, the heel is pushing down. And then I'm gonna bend that knee and continue to try to push the heel down. Different stretch, all right? So you hold into it about 20 seconds, and then when you're ready, you come out of it, and don't forget to do the other side. All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy these videos, and you have better range of motion, strength, and mobility here. Thank you.